Welcome, Gunrunner.
Hello everybody, Kieran aka the Retro Laird here, and today I've got a fantastic hardware review for you, as you can see, and this is something that is both new and retro, so combining two great things into one. So yes, it's the Evercade, as you can see, and I have my console to the side here as well, but I just thought I'd give a nice display of all my boxes, game boxes, and the box for the handheld console itself. I have 10 of the games cartridges, as you can see. There should be one more actually. There should be Xeno Crisis there as well. Xeno Crisis Tanglewood double cartridge, but Amazon have managed to lose it twice now. So I've just had to reorder it for the third time. I don't know how they keep losing it, but there we go. In a way, it's probably good because if I had one more, it would be odd, wouldn't it? Because I've got five either side. So there are a few more I've got on pre-order as well, but I'll talk about that in a little while. But yes, I've got the premium pack, as you can see. So that came with Atari Collection 1, Namco Collection 1, and Interplay Collection 1, as it says in the box. We'll have a look at the box in a minute. So just to give a little bit of background. This handheld came out last year, 2021, and it is the product of Blaze Entertainment, who are pretty well known now in the retro gaming scene. They've done all sorts of stuff over the years, but one of the things I will mention is that I reviewed on my channel a little while ago was the Pong Mini Arcade, which I absolutely loved. That was one of their creations as well, and there's a Centipede Mini Arcade as well that I've got that I keep forgetting to review for some reason. So many times I remember that I've got it and then forget that I have not reviewed it yet. So that will be upcoming on the channel at some point because I keep forgetting I've got it. But it will. But anyway, I've put a link in the top corner if you do want to go and see the review of the Pong Mini. Very, very cool little thing. So yes, back to the Evercade. So as I say, it came out last year, and it's been picking up steam ever since then. Originally, there was two different models. There was a black one as well, which was like a special kind of founders edition, and this is the standard white version. Now, one reason why I haven't reviewed this previously was that I was originally promised one for review on the channel by Blaze, but it never turned up, so never got it. Never heard from them. So in the end, I decided to buy one myself because I was quite interested in getting one, and I saw a good deal on a brand new one, and I also had some vouchers to spend, so I picked it up. I actually got this one from eBay, funnily enough. Although all the games I bought, I think, pretty much from Amazon. Actually, I think there's one I got from eBay. I can't remember which. I think it might be Linx Collection 2. Or something like that, because it was out of stock on Amazon. But I did get a few with the console actually as well. I think when I actually picked up the console, I had the three that came with it anyway, and then I think it was three additional ones or two additional ones. I can't remember exactly. It doesn't matter too much, but yeah, it was quite a nice pack basically. But it was all new, all unused, mint condition. Still had the plastic on and everything. So there we go. So yes, let's have a look at the box before we go into anything else. So as I said, this is the premium pack. There's also a kind of standard edition, which I think comes with one cartridge, which I think is either Namco Museum or Atari. I can't remember which. But there is region-specific versions of the Evercade as well, because rather strangely, Blaze aren't allowed to distribute the Namco cartridges. There's two of them in North America. So the North American one doesn't come with the Namco Museum. I think it comes with Gilleko instead. I think it might be Gilleko cartridge. So yes, so it's different according to different regions. But there we go. As you see, it says on there, it's a handheld that plays cartridges. That's the big gimmick about it, which I'll go into. But you can also play it on your TV. So you can plug a cable into TV and basically use it like a controller with the games playing on the television. As it says there, it comes with 3 officially licensed cartridges. PEGI 12 doesn't really mean anything. On the bottom there, so it shows some of the games that comes on those 3 packs. So some pretty standout stuff there. You know, you've got Pac-Man, you've got Dig Dug on the Namco collection, obviously. On the Interplay collection there, we've got Earthworm Jim, we've got Clay Fighter, pretty big name titles. On the Atari collection, that's a mix of Atari 2600 and 7800 games. So we've got some 2600 classics like Asteroid, Centipede, Missile Command, Crystal Castles. We've got some really good 7800 stuff. I mean, the standout title there is Ninja Golf. The so-called Atari 7800 killer app. It's worth having that cartridge for on its own. It's such a fantastic game. But you've also got Food Fight there, which is, in my opinion, probably the second best game in the Atari 7800. It's a brilliant conversion of a much underrated arcade game. Also got Alien Brigade there from the 7800, which is absolutely fantastic. Motor Psycho. So yeah, some good stuff, really good stuff on there. On the top, it just shows there, see 20 games, 6 games, 11 games from the 3 cartridges. And then on the back, it's just got a little bit of blurb about it. Responsive controls, cartridges. Also see Namco Museum 2, Data East, Mega Cat Collection. So I don't have the Mega Cat one, but I've got the other 2. But we'll look at games in a little while. So that's it. And this is a slip box. So when you take the front off, you get that inside. I don't really do unboxing stuff, but I'll just quickly show you what you get inside. So yeah, the console fits in there. There's a charge cable. I don't use that because I just use a mobile phone charger because it works fine. And there's like a manual here, which is pretty pointless really. I don't think anyone needs a manual these days. It's not really difficult to understand, but it's something they put in there anyway. So we'll don't pull that back in the box. I'll give my obligatory cat warning. You might have already heard one of them scrabbling around. As soon as I start filming the video, they all want to be in it. So I'm just trying to put everything back in the box. So that's the box. I'll put that back in the middle. Actually, it looks a bit strange without it there on the camera. Ah, that's better. Right. So let's have a look what we've got here. Well, we'll show this first. Actually, I bought this. This is a carry case which you can get on Amazon. There's a couple of different options I found on Amazon. There's this hard solid one, which I think is better because it's more protective, and there's a soft case as well. But what it really needs, in my opinion, is something like the big fold-out Linx kit case that you can get, Atari Linx kit case, which I have got one which I keep my Atari Linx in. I should have brought it down and shown it in the video actually. I'll stick. Should have stuck it in. Yeah, should have sort of shown what I mean. But you can always look it up, Linx kit case. But yeah, it needs something like that you can fit loads of cartridges in. Because the problem with this is, it's got a little pocket there to put like your charging cable or your TV cable in. TV cable comes separately, by the way. It doesn't come with the Evercade. You have to order that if you want to connect it up to the TV. You say there's 2. I'll show a bit about on the camera. 2 things for cartridges, so you could actually only store 3. One in the console, and 2 in the box, which is a bit useless. And in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have even bothered buying this because it doesn't really serve much of a purpose. What I have been doing is, and it's funny, as I was saying about Linx is, I had a couple of these in the garage. These are the Linx Pouch, these are called, as opposed to the kit case, which is the big one you can get loads of games in. These are Linx Pouches. I always remember that on the promo material, they showed them like hanging from someone's belt because it's got this strap on the back, and you could actually connect it to your belt. So I remember seeing that in the pictures. Like, never saw anyone use it like that. Actually, I had quite a lot of friends with Linxes, and I think nearly all of them had the bigger kit cases. I do remember one person having this one. He didn't have many games, so but yeah. Because what I do with this is, because it's a lot bigger, is I can get all the game cartridges. Although I can only get a couple in each of these, I can actually just put all the game cartridges in the bottom inside, and then that fits in as well inside there, so it's like a double layer of protection. But that's great to take it around in. I keep it in that all the time now because I can get keep all the game cartridges in there as well, just loose in the bottom. So there's an idea for you, because I know in the Evercade group that is on Facebook, a lot of people were talking about the Linx kit case as well. Had a similar opinion that it needs something like that. But a lot of people were saying they would buy one, but they're quite expensive now, which they are, especially with all the inserts in them. They do go for quite high prices now on eBay. I think they're about 30 quid ish, something like that. But these are easy to pick up and they're cheaper. So there's another option for you. And the funny thing was that my wife really made me laugh. She said, "I'm surprised you can do that because that case is Linx branded and that's not a Linx." But at which point I pointed out there's the two Linx collections. One is over there, one is over here, I think. Oh, yeah, up there. And so I said, in a way, it's got a very strong connection to the Linx. Lots of Atari licensed stuff, two Linx collections. So I am actually okay with that. It doesn't bother my OCD too much. She's still a bit surprised, but she can understand the logic. So there we go. She knows me very well. So let's have a look at the handheld itself now. So one thing I will say is actually bigger than I expected. You can see it compared to my hand. It's a bit longer than most handhelds out there, which I think is great, because I think a lot of these, the sort of, the generic retro emulation handhelds and stuff that are out there are quite small. They have small screens. The buttons are quite often not great because they're quite close together and stuff. This has a nice big round joypad, massive screen, really comfortable design to hold. You've got shoulder buttons on the top as well, as you can see. On-off switch, that is there. Charging port, cartridge port there. Headphone socket, volume up and down. And that's there's the USB port at the bottom. Sorry, that one on the top's the mini HDMI. Sorry, to connect to the TV. And obviously, we've got menu, select, and start on the front. Depending on the game, different things do different things. So a little speaker there on each side there as well. So the sound quality is actually pretty decent, as you'll find out. So let's get a cartridge. So random cartridge I've just picked up, Atari Collection 2. So these actually reminded me quite a lot of Game Gear cartridges. Similar kind of shape actually. But they're quite cool the way they're moulded and the way they fit into the console, as I will show you right now. I'll try and do it with two hands. So they're quite a tight fit, and some people actually moaned about them being too tight. But I've had no issues with them being too tight. I find them to be an absolutely perfect fit every time they slot in. And look at that! I love the fact it perfectly fits the console. I think that's really nice. I think that's a really, really, really nice design choice. And going back to that point, as you said, about a lot of people moaned about the cartridge not fitting in properly. There is a specific Facebook group. I'm not going to mention them because I don't really want to give them any publicity. That I was in, and I left that Facebook group because all they did constantly was criticise the Evercade. It was supposed to be a general retro gaming group, but it was literally all the admins did was constantly bash the Evercade, and they saw that their group as being some kind of competitor group to the Evercade group, which I thought was really strange, because the Evercade group is just about the Evercade, and they were claiming their group was about retro gaming in general. But it was really pathetic fanboy stuff. I'm not sure they had so much of a problem with it. But all the criticisms that they were always making about it, I haven't found to be true. They said about the cartridges don't fit in the console properly. I mean, I've got 10 cartridges and all of them fit perfectly. They said that the screens were bad quality and always had dead pixels on them. Again, not had that at all with mine, not seen anything. The screen is really good quality. They said the buttons were unresponsive. Again, no, I found the complete opposite. I've actually found it to be pretty well made. It's not perfect, but it's pretty well made. Everything, feels really solid. It feels a lot better than most of the other, retro gaming type handhelds you get out there. So let's turn it on. So there we go, Blaze Entertainment. So there we go. So what I will do now is I will just actually switch the camera around for a moment, so I can actually sort of use the handheld, because I can't really hold it like this and play it. So bear with me one moment. Okay, so there we go. Now you might get a reflection of my ugly mug and the camera stand, but this is a much better way of doing it. At least we can see what we're doing now. So there we go. So actually that comes out really nice and clear on the screen there. So there we go. You can see I've got a full battery there in the top corner. We can scroll through the games. That says 7800 version of Asteroids there, 7800 version of Basketball, Bowling from the 2600, the brilliant 7800 version of Centipede, Dark Chambers. So yeah, you get the box art and you get a screenshot of the game, the excellent 7800 Desert Falcon, Human Cannonball, Haunted House, Millipedes, Planet Smashers, Radar Lock, Real Sports Tennis, Submarine Commander, Sprint Master, Solaris, probably one of the best games ever made in my opinion. Worth owning this cartridge for on its own, because it's so good. But yeah, so let's have a look at a few different things. So on this, for example, we'll just stick on, that'll do, Basketball for a moment, just so you can see it. So there we go. Will be Vinny. Still a bit of light reflection, but you can basically gives you an idea of what it's all about. You can see 7800 game in action, the full Basketball. It's a really good game, but it's really impossible to play through looking through the camera. So this is really just to give you an idea of what the game's about. But there we go. So that's Atari Collection 2 there. So what I'll do is I'll get something a bit different. So let's get, there we go, that'll do, Namco Collection 1. So stick this in, so show a few different systems, because obviously what the Evercade is doing is basically emulating different systems. So with that cartridge, it's emulating the 2600 and the 7800, but one of the main obviously draws, apart from the fact it's using cartridges, is it's doing it all officially. All the cartridges and games are officially licensed. So there we go, this one's got Battle Cars, SNES game, Dig Dug, which is the NES version, NES Famicom version, same with Galaxian. Yeah, most of these are NES, I think, actually. That's a SNES one, NES. That one actually is Mega Drive, I believe, Quad Challenge. NES, so yeah, so quite a few of them are NES. And actually, one thing I will mention is this is something that disappointed quite a few people, because they were expecting, like the arcade version of Pac-Man or the arcade version of Dig Dug, when in fact you're getting the NES versions. This is especially, I suppose, more true in many ways. Annoyed people with, for example, there's a Data East collection. You mainly trying to think Data East of their arcade games rather than NES. Same with Jaleco, and same with actually Technos is another. So with Technos, we've got the NES version of Double Dragon, not the arcade version of Double Dragon. But they have said, Blaze, that there will, well, they've actually not said, they've announced arcade cartridges now. So there's going to be some that there's going to be like a Technos arcade collection, an Atari Arcade Collection, Data East Arcade Collection, that will have the real arcade games on, which is great. You get the idea, and Pac-Man actually is a good one to show because it shows how responsive the controls are. Because you obviously always need this almost pixel perfect movement in Pac-Man. So that's that. So what else we got? There was something, one of the Atari Linx. Let's stick one of the Atari Linx collections on. I think that's definitely a good one to show. And one thing I want to, I want to say about the Atari Linx collections is that the Atari Linx emulation on a PC has never been that great. Your only choice really as an emulator goes is Handy, and as good as Handy is in many ways, the sound emulation on Handy is absolute rubbish, whereas the emulation on this is actually really good. And there's some really good games selection here. I mean, Cybervirus is not a Linx game that many people know because it was a prototype that was released later on, but thanks to a licensing deal with Songbird, who were the people who released it, it's on here. I mean, you've got Dracula the Undead, which is a brilliant adventure RPG. Gordo and his Six is Shido, good puzzle game. That Jimmy Connor's Tennis. So obviously, there's not any of the Linx arcade conversions, which is a shame because the Linx had some amazing arcade conversions. But there is a lot of good original stuff in Ports Feather. So Loops there's a great game. This is a really good game actually to show the sound emulation because Malibu Bikini Beach Volley has amazing music, so we'll go back to that in a minute. Super Asteroids Missile Command, probably worth buying, for the on its own. Super Squeak, really underrated game. Love Super Squeak. Sump is great little homebrew, so it's really good to see that on there as well. Another one that comes courtesy of Songbird. Loops is such an addictive puzzle. I mean, this is a really good selection of games. Mega Pack 1, which is actually a collection of games within itself. So you've actually got games within the games, which is pretty cool. Planar Wars is another pretty cool homebrew. Scrap Your Dog, basically the Linx's answer to Super Mario, if you're not familiar. So this is a really good cartridge to say every single game on this is good and worth playing. Every single one. But let's stick Malibu on. This is nothing that helps with the wide screen actually, because the Linx didn't have a standard 4:3 screen, it was wider. But this game has got absolutely glorious music. Turn it up a bit on there. And a really nice intro sequence, so we'll watch that. Yeah, you don't hear that breaking up at all, like it does when you on Handy. Really good emulation. And that's absolutely perfect. It's a brilliant game, this is. Probably my favourite volleyball game ever, in fact. So let's go start. Well, that's option 2 start on the Linx collection. So that'll do. We hear some nice speech now. Do the coin toss. I can't really play this through the camera, but you've got an idea of how great the Linx emulation is. So yeah, very impressive there. Very impressed with that. Let's stick that one in because it's close. I can't even remember what's on Data East Collection. And then we'll have a look at the game boxes in a minute as well. This will be the last one I'll look at. So just have a quick flick through this. We've got Bad Dudes. We've got Burning Rubber, aka Bump and Jump, Burger Time. These are all NES versions. Two Crew Dudes from the Mega Drive. Fighters History. I think that's Mega Drive. Joe and Mac, NES. Magical Drop 2. I think that is SNES. Midnight Resistance. Mega Drive. Side Pocket NES. So let's stick on Two Crew Dudes for a minute, so you can see Mega Drive emulation. Blaze has said that the Evercade can handle pretty much everything up to PS1. A lot of people were hoping, because of the Atari licensing, for a Jaguar collection, but unsurprisingly, they've confirmed it can't really do Jaguar. It's not. The Jaguar is very, very hard to emulate. Not even PCs can emulate the Jaguar properly, so I don't know why people are surprised that the Evercade wouldn't be able to do Jaguar games. So yeah, as you can see, the Mega Drive emulation's pretty damn good as well. The sound sounds a little bit more tinny than it does in the Mega Drive, but it's not too much a big thing, to be honest. So there we go. Two Crew Dudes. So put that there for a minute, because I don't want this video to go on forever. So just have a look at a game box. I'll just grab one at random here. So I've got, everything's falling over, so I'm trying to move the camera back. So we've got Atari Collection 1 here. So yeah, you can see they're quite small. We have a manual in every single one, you'll be pleased to hear. And there's your thing. I know that's the wrong game, but they fit in there lovely. Really, really cool little cases. Remind me of the Mega Drive cases in many ways, which is certainly no bad thing, but smaller. And yeah, and then it shows you obviously what they've got on the back. But the boxes look great because they've got a lovely side on them. I'll show you. Actually, I'll stack them up, as you can kind of see. Yeah, let me look at that. They look great on the shelf because they all match. And as you can see, there, that they're numbered as well. So obviously you can put them in. If you're not sure how to sort them, there's your answer. You can sort them in numerical order. I suppose you could put them in alphabetical order, but because they've numbered all their cartridges, the OCD likes that, because then there's a definitive way to organise them on your shelf. So what do I think of the Evercade? You've probably already realised, you can see my Pac-Man t-shirt there. That's a really appropriate one to wear to do this video, isn't it? Yeah, I absolutely love it. You probably gathered that already from the video. It's a fantastic little console. I don't regret buying it at all. One thing, I mean, I think the big thing for this is I've got other retro, emulation hands. Like I've got one of the Abanic handhelds that you can just load with ROMs and emulators, and away you go. And as cool as that is, I literally sit there and I spend about half an hour trying to decide what to play. And in the end, I either don't play anything, or I just go back to one of the same titles that I know that's on there, because there's so many. I was thinking, sod it, I'll just play that. And I've always found that to be an issue with those things. But with this, because you've got cartridges, you go, oh, okay, so stick that on, so play some Namco. I'll stick the Linx one on because I fancy playing some Linx games. I didn't find that same overwhelming thing that I got with a list of ROMs. And the fact you get a nice box, the fact you get that you can collect them, you've got the instruction manual, you can put them on your shelf. It's like the best of old and the best of new, and I really, really love everything about this system. I really can't find a way to fault it. I've completely fallen in love with the Evercade, I have to say, and it's really brought back a lot of my love of retro. I don't often get a chance to play retro games because I have a busy life, I have a family, and when I do sit down to play games, it's usually actually on the big TV. I'll play on my Xbox One. you know, and I'll play something like Assassin's Creed that I'll play for a few hours. But what I found with this is my wife goes to bed earlier than me because of her job. And quite often she'll go to bed and I'll sit up and I'll play my Evercade for an hour or so after she goes to bed, which is brilliant because I can sit on the sofa, stick the headphones on, and away I go. And a few times I've actually found myself sitting there and playing and literally until the battery has run out. And I've done that a few times now. I've discovered some games that I never played before. There's a lot of my favourites on these collections, especially with the Atari Linx collections. And yeah, it's really made me fall in love with retro again. So thank you, Blaze, for that. And you know, the Evercade I now regard as one of my best purchases, and I can't wait for all the new cartridges to come out, especially the arcade cartridges. They're going to be brilliant to play the actual arcade games on my Evercade. I'll be taking this on holiday. I've already been for a small holiday this year, actually. Once the lockdown restrictions were lifted, I went away for a few days, and I took this with me, and I'll be taking it with me on my summer holidays as well, when I go back to the island this summer and stuff like that. And other new collections that are coming out. There's a Codemasters collection coming out, which is a central purchase to me. I've already pre-ordered that because it's also got stuff by Sensible Software on it because they own their IP. So obviously you've got Sensible Soccer and stuff like that on it. Cannon fodder. There's also a Bitmap Brothers collection coming out. Again, I've pre-ordered that one as well because that's got like Speedball 2, Xenon 2 on it. So again, you know, for me, that's like an essential purchase. I really can't wait for that one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to a lot of the new cartridges that come out. It'd be interesting to see what else they come up with in terms of the licensing agreements, because there's still so much stuff out there to exploit. And yeah, the future is really bright for the Evercade. And if you've ummed and ahed about this for probably many of the same reasons as me, because you already have another emulation handheld, or you weren't sure if it was up to scratch on the terms of emulation and stuff like that, then don't be. It's a great handheld. It's pretty inexpensive. I mean, I paid like 80 quid for mine with a load of games, so it's nothing really. They're available over the world. There's, you know, get them on Amazon and Funstock and just about everywhere. So yeah, if you don't have an Evercade, go and pick one up. I highly recommend it. I've been the Retro Lad. Thank you for watching my review of the Blaze Evercade. And I'll see you all again for another video very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.